Daniel Dubois says he's coming back with a vengeance. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Renee Box Young. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, sharing, showing your support, tuning into the lives, commenting in the comment sections of the videos. I really appreciate each and every one of you. As I always say, subscribers since day one, recent subscribers, welcome to Renee Box Young. If there are any new listeners, Renee Box Young is simply a platform, where we simply discuss, critique, analyze, and just talk about the sport of boxing. It's as simple as that. Take the hate somewhere else. Why do I give these introductions constantly? Because I really do thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really appreciate you, the whole community that's been, collaborating with me, just chopping up the sport of boxing. I love it, man. The guests who have been on since I've been inviting guests on the platform, and that goes way back when, so I really appreciate everyone. Thank you so much, for joining. And I want to talk about, Daniel Dubois. He recently came out on social media saying that, he's coming back and he's coming back with a vengeance. He's focused, after, his first loss, from Joe Joyce, what he did. I mean, I got to just say this real quick. We're going to get to an article right now to break up some things, break down some things, right? Concerning Daniel Dubois and some recent, new things that he wants to do, regarding his moves in the sport of boxing, okay? But first and foremost, when you go back to the Joe Joyce fight, when he fought Daniel Dubois, it really disappointed me. We went live the other day talking about this. One of the subjects, at least, we're focusing more on Joe Joyce, though, okay? And Joe Joyce is reportedly, supposedly, right, in negotiations with Usyk to fight around April. So that's awesome. I think it's a great fight. So we were mainly focusing on that, and we did talked about a little bit of Dan Dubois, and I did mention in the live that I said that I was disappointed, man. I really was. Doesn't mean that Dan Dubois, has a ruined career. Of course not. He just has a loss. I think he has about 19 fights or so. So, I mean, he's fresh. He's still, growing. He's still, But one of the things that disappointed me a lot, and the same with Anthony Yarde, how he lost recently also in his recent fight. I think it was Arthur Linden. They both lost with the jab, man, by the jab. And it really, it disappoints me to see fighters, how they lose, or how they don't implement, just basic fundamentals when it comes to boxing in the ring, you know what I mean? With Dan Dubois, Anthony Yarde, and both of their recent fights, they have similarities in the sense that they weren't even jabbing in the fight, really. Dan Dubois is common for using his 1-2s, you know what I'm saying? 1-2s, quite precise in his executions. As a matter of fact, man, I mean, I think he did quite well against Joe Joyce. I don't think it was a big domination. You go back and check the fight out. I mean, Dan Dubois was landing several combos. Joe Joyce just has a chin, and he was using the jab, and I think Daniel Dubois could have used the jab a lot more. He really wasn't doing that. There's a point, and I think that a lot of fighters have to pay attention to in this era of boxing. You can't just rely on power. What happened to Rolly? In his fight before his recent one? I think he fought recently some guy. I think it was Sparrow. I forgot the dude's name, man. He just recently fought. I called the fight, if I'm not mistaken, and he improved. But the fight before that, when he fought Martinez, it seemed like he was mainly focusing on power. What I do appreciate about Rolly is in his recent fight, I know it was against an opponent who wasn't up to par, whatever, that much, whatever, regarding status and skills and whatever, right? But what happened was I saw improvement with Rolly. I like that. I like the improvement. I saw using more of his footwork, using decent defense, using the jab more. I mean, those fundamental skills are very important for any fighter. And it disappoints me when I see fighters, that they don't use the jab much at all. And sometimes fighters incline more to power, thinking they're just going to come in and knock out all these opponents, even though they have a nice, high percentage knockout winning streak or what have you. These guys got to learn how to use the jab. Fundamental skills. And Dan Dubois, that's one of the reasons I'm just exhaustively explaining so you can understand my point of view concerning Dan Dubois. That's why when he fought Joyce, I was disappointed in him losing to the jab because he wasn't even using the jab himself, really. So I was quite disappointed, man. I had my hopes up, and I thought Dan Dubois was going to win. But it's all good. All respect to both fighters. Joe Joyce, man, great win. Really surprised me. And amazing fundamental skills that Joe Joyce was using, the jab. I mean, and he was using it very well. That telephone jab, pop, powerful. And you know what happened to Dan Dubois' eye. I think it was his left eye. So So Daniel Dubois came out recently, okay, said that on social media that he wants to, he's going to come back, and he's going to come back with a vengeance. He's more determined, getting back to the drawing board, and I like how he talks. And I think that Daniel Dubois is really going to come back. I really do. It's not like, I reiterate, it's not like his career is ruined or anything like that. But, we've said it time and time again, and, community knows that at least real, boxing fans, hardcore fans or whatever you want to say, right? We know that sometimes losses serve fighters very well. It really helps fighters get back to the drawing board and improve a lot more. Okay, so I think that's gonna happen with Dan Dubois, and I hope it happens with Anthony Yarde. I really do. It's yet to be seen. But now I want to show you something. Okay, you can check this out. Link in the description. Mail online. Okay, dailymail.co, blah blah blah, whatever. Link in the description. You check it out. Okay, it says here. Revealed. Daniel Dubois removes Martin Bowers as his trainer and is set to appoint Mark Tibbs as his replacement as he looks to rebuild his career after defeat against Joe Joyce, we were talking about a moment ago, and has been told by doctors he can fight again in April. This is awesome. I think this is great, ladies and gentlemen, and what I like about this article, as a matter of fact, in this webpage, what I like about this is it has bullet points of what the article is going to talk about. I like that. I really do like how they set that up, but whatever. But I think there's too many ads around here. Whatever. I'm not advertising, okay? I just pay attention a lot to articles and things like that. So isn't that great? You got several bullet points here to focus on. You're talking about, Dan Dubois removing his trainer, okay? I think that's a good step. Now, if I'm not mistaken, in the article, it goes on to explain that, his trainer is not going to completely leave his team. He's going to be manager or something like that. So he's still going to be involved with Dan Dubois, which I think is great. It's good. It's not just knocking him off totally. And, I think that's a good first step. Because, there comes a time in a fighter's life, or in his career at least, in Daniel Dubois' case, like, he was taking out these opponents with knockouts, dominating them. And it seems like his coach hasn't taught him other necessary skills, fundamental skills that we're talking about a moment ago, up to now, which led him to losing against Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce was, I think Daniel Dubois' biggest step up in his career thus far as a prospect, So I think this is a great step in him, changing trainers. Hopefully the new trainer he has, is going to teach him the fundamental skills of boxing. And that shows, ladies and gentlemen, that Dan Dubois, he is open to growth. He is open to growth and implementing new skills in his game, in his craft, fundamental skills. I'm really anxious to see, and this is great news, ladies and gentlemen, and we just saw just in that introduction of the article that, he's planned, or hopefully he can fight back in April. So come back fighting in April. So I think this is great news, and I'm gonna definitely keep my eye out on Dan Dubois, because I want to see, if he has improved, if he really went back to the drawing board, and with this new coach, trainer, whatever, right? Teaches him. See if he teaches him how to jab more. See if he teaches him how to use a little bit more footwork, fundamental skills. You know what I'm saying? So let's get back to the article real quick. So we have here, Dan Dubois has removed Martin Bowers, the bullet points, right? We just saw there. Bowers will remain as his manager, what I just mentioned a moment ago, but Mark Tibbs is set to be his new trainer. Okay, so he'll be his manager. Bowers will be his manager, but Mark Tibbs is going to be the new trainer. So Dubois set for the series. Okay, we know that. Okay, so, you go down reading here, and I'm going to go down here just a little bit in the article, okay, because it says some interesting things here. Real down here, okay, so he says here, what I like about this is, promoter Frank Warren, is convinced, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, promoter Frank Warren is saying here, he is not interested in social media, and I like that about Dan Dubois. You see? So I like that he's focused. He's in the zone. He's not, caught up in this. I like that. Nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, it rubs a lot, some of the boxing community the wrong way. Not everyone. Some people are in social media. That's fine. Some boxers are into that a lot, but that's fine. We got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, we're in the 2021. We're living in the 2021. This is just a digital era. We cannot complain too much about fighters going back and forth on Twitter. I've done it before. I've complained. But I've accepted the fact. It's a fact that it's not going away, ladies and gentlemen. If anything, it's going to be more and more. It is what it is. We just got to accept things sometimes. Accept and adapt. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it is what it is. But I like this though about Daniel Dubois, that he's not really into social media. You know, he's focused. He's in the zone. He's not going back and forth on social media, and I dig that. I think that's cool. You know, Daniel Dubois, he's a mature guy. You know, he's a mature fighter, and I really dig that about him. So, which convinces me more that, you know, which is why I'm making this video. You know, this convinces me more that he really is coming back. You know, with a new game plan. You know, and he's gonna improve. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he continues to say there that he just wants to get on and fight. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? And look what he continues to say. I love this about Dan Dubois. He says, I met with him last week. This is Frank Warren speaking, okay? He is not a braggart or a loudmouth and was quite philosophical. So you see, he's an intelligent guy. Okay, why am I bringing this out? Because, you know, the way a fighter speaks, I've spoken about this time and time again. You know, and I've emphasized how certain fighters speak quite eloquently. There are some fighters that are really intelligent. Keith Thurman, for example, Andre Ward. You know, you got fighters out there, former fighters, what have you, who speak quite eloquently, and it shows how they fight in the ring. Their IQ, they're intelligent. You know, these fighters out there, you got intelligent fighters out there. Why am I mentioning this? Because, you know, Frank Warren is talking about how he's even philosophical and how he speaks, how he conducts himself, you know what I'm saying? How he you know, articulates his speech. You know, this shows to me, you know, I think that, you know, this is going to translate in him improving in the ring. I think he's going to, you know, be very open-minded with his new trainer, and he's going to adapt, and he's going to, you know, show us new things come April. Hopefully he fights April. You know, and according to talks, Joe Joyce and Usyk, might fight in April. So this is great. I think we got some great matchups coming up in the heavyweight division. I think this is really great. You know what I'm saying? So you go back to the article, and he says here, yeah. So when he was caught, he said the pain was searing right through his head. Ouch. You know, about his eye. Okay, so you know the article goes on and on, but you can go ahead and read it. So I think this is just, I think this is good news. Okay, I think this is definitely good news, and it says here, continuing about, you know, Dan Dubois, it says here, he is already back in training ahead of his expected comeback in the spring. Great news, I want to see this. But we'll have to hold off from sparring for at least another 3 weeks as his eye continues to heal. Now, that's another point I want to talk about in this video, okay? So, I mean, the great news here is all the things I'm talking about, okay, prior to this point, okay, concerning his eye. So, he's going to be held off from sparring, as we can see in the article, you know, for a few weeks, and that's a while. So, we have to watch out with his eye. Fighters now know this. You know, his future opponents are going to be going for that eye. The same thing happened with Kell Brook, right? One eye was damaged by Triple G. Another eye was damaged by Spence. You see what I'm saying? And ladies and gentlemen, pay attention, please. Check this out. When Brook came up and fought, you know, Bud Crawford, you know, jabbed him or whatever the heck that was, a jab or a hook. Yeah. Which had Brook dazed. It was around one of those eyes. It was really close to one of those eyes, okay? I think that had something to do with it, his prior damage, you know what I'm saying? And Daniel Dubois has to watch out for that. Let's hope that he completely heals and that bone gets stronger. I'm not a doctor, I don't know, but I've heard, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. You can comment in the comment section if there are any physicians or what have you, I don't know, right? I've heard that, you know, when a bone breaks or if a bone is fractured, when it heals up, it becomes stronger. I don't know if that's true. If it is, I hope it is true for Dan Dubois. Okay, because fighters are going to go for that eye. You know, fighters are going to go for that eye, and fighters are going to use the jab against him. So I really do hope that, you know, his eye really heals up and that it doesn't become an obstacle. I don't know if I want to call it an excuse for future fights, okay? Who knows, you know, maybe his future fights, you know, maybe he'll start getting hit in the eye, and he'll probably just like, oh, no, you know, this hurts too much, I'm done, because it's my injured eye, that got injured before, now it's hurting again, and we don't know. So that can be, you know what I'm saying, that can be an issue there, and that's a factor that we have to keep our eyes on, you know, concerning Dan Dubois and what happened to him, you know, in the Joe Joyce fight. So we really got to pay attention to that. So, but, you know, generally speaking, I think this is great news. I think this is great news that Dan Dubois, his fire, you know, it's the passion is growing even more, has grown more from this loss. You know, he's making different moves, changes, you know what I'm saying, changing his trainer, because that shows that he wants to grow. And I personally think we're going to see new things from Daniel Dubois in his next fight. Hopefully he's coming back from spring. That's another in spring, so that's other good news. So I'm saying, so generally speaking, this is good news, you know, from Daniel Dubois and what he's doing. That shows that he wants to grow. He's willing to grow. He has an open mind to grow, which is why this all convinces me he's going to show us new things, ladies and gentlemen. And I personally do think he's going to come back with a vengeance. But the only obstacle here and the only thing that can serve as you know, a stop sign in Dan Dubois' career is his eye, his left eye. If I remember correctly, if I just saw in the video, or if I remember, just go back to the fight, not video, and in the article, the image, where I think it was his left eye that was injured. Actually, let's just go back just to confirm here. So we got, yeah, it was his left eye. You can see right there. So that's the only thing that is the if. What if, right? The conditional factor, that what if his eye, you know, comes back to haunt him? That eye injury, you know. I reiterate, let's hope it heals up, and let's hope it's stronger than before, you know, that bone or whatever happened there. So, man, what do you think? Do you have hopes for Dan Dubois coming back? I do. And listen, please, in my recent live, okay, we talked about with the great guests. You already know who they are. If you don't, you got to tune in. You know what I'm saying? Tune into the lives, the flash lives. I talked about when we're talking about Joe Joyce and Usyk possibly fighting in springtime or whatever. You know, according to Joe Joyce and his team or whatever, negotiations between him and Usyk fight in around spring are going smoothly. So that's great news. And I talked about, you know, that I personally don't think that Usyk and Joyce are going to make it to the top in the heavyweight division. You know, it's just with honest, critical analysis, okay? I just don't think they have the skill set. I don't think that, you know, they have, you know, to match up to these top-notch heavyweights, for now at least, or in this period of time that we're in the sport of boxing in the heavyweight division. Next year, next 2 years, I don't see them at the top. We gotta face the facts, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think Wilder or Tyson Fury are gonna be, you know, boxing much longer in heavyweight, in the heavyweight division, or in boxing in general. I see them retiring soon. Okay, I just kind of sense it in my gut, and I can just, you know, look at their age, and you know, Wilder has accomplished so much in the heavyweight division. Tyson Fury has his accomplishments. I'm just putting all that other stuff, controversial stuff to the side. I'm just saying what I see, okay? And because I'm talking about retirement, so I personally don't think that Fury and Wilder are going to be boxing much longer. Okay, maybe another year and a half, and they're out of here. So why do I say this? Because maybe tables will turn. Maybe Joyce will get to the heavyweight, you know, to the top of the heavyweight division once these guys retire. You see what I'm saying? I mean, things can happen, but then again, you got to analyze Joe Joyce's age. So, you know, his age, he's quite up there in age too. So, but who knows? But my point is that I don't think Joe Joyce and Usyk are going to make it to the top. I don't think they're going to be champions in the heavyweight division. Forget all that foolish, senseless diamond champion, interim champion, meritus champion. That's nonsense. Okay, I'm talking about top heavyweight beating the best up there. I don't think they can do that. Okay, but I think Daniel Dubois has that. I think he can make it to the top. I think he can, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, and this is why I'm making a video about him. I think he is going to come back. I think he's going to improve. He has the potential, and I think he has the potential skills. I say potential skills because we haven't seen them yet concerning fundamental skills that I was talking about in the beginning of this video. But with his new trainer, I think this is promising, ladies and gentlemen. Let's keep an eye out. Comment in the comment section. What do you guys think? Do you think Daniel Dubois can make it to the top? I think he can. It just takes time. And I think he's going to come back great, you know, but there's always that what if with the eye, I reiterate. So we'll see what happens. Renee Boxing. Thanks so much, man, for liking, subscribing, sharing. As usual, man, I really appreciate you all. Continue supporting, man, and it's a wonderful platform. We just speak the sport of boxing. Take the hate somewhere else. Renee Boxing. Peace out, fam. Stay safe.